Very good afternoon to you, one and all, viewers of the program Getting It Right. It's so good to be back with you here again, especially following some of the questions that continue to come in to me after the last program while I stayed in the station, right here in Eccles MTV. I'm happy that you are so far seeming to be enjoying a nice long holiday weekend, and of course we'll have a very good Easter with the family. I want to thank all of you who continue to send me questions even after the program ended, and we'll try to address some of those today and in subsequent programs. As you see, the topic today is the PPP's prioritized actions, or the PPP, what are we prioritizing to restore Guyana immediately following the victory at the upcoming elections. So it says two things. We already have a plan, and the General Secretary of the party, Dr. Bheri Ramsarran, has been making several visits across the country to tease out of the people what are the things they need and what we're going to put in our manifesto. In other words, I can give you some sneak review or sneak information. The party's manifesto is already being prepared for the elections. Whenever they come early, as we're hoping and expecting and demanding based on the unconstitutionality of the new government, of this government rather, and in preparation for our new government. And at the same time, yes, the phones are already ringing, but you've seen the numbers on the phone. You'll be seeing my number included, where you can call in to us. Let's see if we can get something here. Hello? 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 Okay, we seem to be getting... Hello? Okay, the technicians will take care of that. Probably some difficulty with the phone, right? Hello? The technician will take care of that for us. But let's get back to the meat of the story that we're trying to unravel today. The PPP is in full gear for elections, whether they come early, which we're demanding based on the fiasco that occurred in the parliament here on the 21st of December, after which the government is declared illegal, unconstitutional, and should only be preparing for elections. And the government, including its cabinet and ministers, should have already resigned following that the successful vote of no confidence by the PPP-C. That was tabled, the motion was tabled by Ramsarran, and we won that, hands down. Hello?
Yeah.
Thanks for being so early. The program definitely is becoming popular. Even before we started, people are calling. That's so good. Thank you.
You're welcome. How are you?
I'm good, but the point is we want us to address the topic today. If you want to talk to me on other things, right, you can do so after hours, after we finish the hour or so, and there will be other people, other young people in the studio to speak to you. Okay?
Yes. Bye-bye.
Okay, take care. Okay, obviously that is a young viewer, or probably somebody who views the program with their elders and showed some interest. But we're welcoming your calls from anywhere. The last time we had 28 calls. I'm sorry that I could not take any more, but that was the real maximum participation. Also, you have the cell phone, my cell phone, 623-8696. Feel free to call on that. Now, getting back to the business before us. We're going to be looking at some of the priorities that the PPP-C has already identified. So when we win the elections following the outcome of the CCJ, which would make them early, or if that is lost for some reason, elections have to come sometime in the near future, we'll be prepared. We're already preparing a manifesto. As a matter of fact, the preparation of that manifesto is advanced, but of course we won't be releasing, you don't release your manifesto until the election date is better known. Let me see if this is for the... Hello, getting it right? Hello? Okay. What I think might be happening, right, and that's why the positive, good callers need to call in, is probably some people might be calling to tie us up. You notice we followed that pattern last week before the last. So those of you who have genuine interest in sharing your views with our wide section of Guyana, because we spread right across the coast from this program, we would like to remind you that the numbers are on the screen, and that today's topic is the PPP-C priorities to restore Guyana immediately following victory at the upcoming elections, immediately following that victory. Hello? Hello?
Hi.
Good day to you. You're on to Getting It Right. Hello? Okay.
Yeah.
Go right ahead. We're listening to you.
Well, we go to
What I want you to do, right, is get an adult who can convey your views, and then we know we care for everyone, even the children, and children's rights and children's interests were much promoted under the PPPC. Just take the vaccination program. Guyana has one of the best vaccination coverage, that is, vaccines or preventative measures taken to inoculate toddlers and babies against vaccine preventable disease. Guyana has one of the best track records in the world. As much as 98% of the toddlers, of the children who need to be covered are already covered. As a matter of fact, the latest, I think that was the 16th injection or the 16th vaccine that was introduced and under me a few years ago was the HPV vaccine. A big furore. They were attacking the PPP. Now I'm actually seeing that they're saying yes, not only girls should be vaccinated with HPV, but boys, and that the PPP is quite happy, and I'm happy when kids like the one who just called, try to call in, take part in the program. But I'll advise that the adults do the conversation so we waste less time and we get over to the point. So yes, children are one of the main, or their rights are one of the main elements in our priority measures that you see we're discussing today. It will be included in our manifesto, which is well advanced. The manifesto is a compact, a contract with the Guyanese voters. We say we will do this, and you say yes, you're voting for us. So that's far advanced, and we hope that you will be able to add to it today. Of course, we can't be releasing our major points from our manifesto until towards the elections, when the date may have been expressed. Hello? Okay, we seem to have missed that. I hope that was a genuine call. So we are now looking at these issues, what the PPPC is going to do. Hello?
Good afternoon, Mr. Bheri.
Good afternoon, sir. Thanks for calling.
I think you're making a mistake there just now. You said you gotta say we had under the PPP, but we have nothing now.
No, okay. Well, I slipped with the grammar, but we did have, and what we're saying, some of it, so a good set exists, and we hope to immediately be able to capture back that momentum following elections.
And now you're making the statement good.
Okay, remember I was speaking about child health and maternal health.
Yeah, I know. We had everything under the PPP, but not now.
Well, we got to learn from that mistake and redouble our efforts to do what? Win the next elections.
We can definitely win it.
They only got one uncertainty. Okay, thank you, sir. That was great. I slipped there and said that we had up to the PPP time, but some of it still exists. Some of what I left, for example, in the Ministry of Health, some of what the good people working, the doctors who were trained in Cuba, look how many of them were trained in Cuba. As a matter of fact, President Jagdeo, when he went over to Cuba a few years ago, I was on that trip, and a few other ministers, including Ashley Singh, who then wasn't a minister, he was head of budget, I think. We went there and we sat down for hours and we prioritized our needs. And Guyana, headed by Dr. Jagdeo, discovered or pointed out that we needed more doctors, and that at our local school, medical school, only 18 to 20 were being produced annually. And by the 5 years' time after the graduation, most were gone. So they worked out a deal. I was there, Fidel, Jagdeo, translators, Ashley Singh, and a few other of us. We were sitting there for hours. And we got the facility from Cuban health sector, which is very much recognized by PAHO and the international community, to train 500 doctors. And then we came back home and we started to build health centers, more left, right, and center, so that when the young doctors come home, or would have come home, they would get places to work. And that's exactly, those things still exist, but they're being damaged, they're being deteriorated by the PNC coalition, APNU PNC, and the coalition with Granger and Ramjatan and Nagamutu. Don't forget those two, Ramjatan and Nagamutu. They have been able to facilitate this out of opportunism and not out of principle. Right? And when the both would have been retired, we're told, I pick up somehow, a little birdie told me, Moses is going to enjoy overseas, to go and live overseas with family. So he would have done his damage and gone. By now, in the health sector, particularly to look at specialized cases, including women's and children's issues, we would have had by now an Indian funded or cooperation with Indian specialty hospital at Liliendal. Ramjatan personally intervened even in Parliament to fight it down. And Mr. Moses Nagmut was saying, cut. You know, doing like we got to say, cut. Pointing over to me when I was on the government, cut your budget. So they cut the budget and now they're running overseas themselves as an elite to get the same treatment that we would have been bringing here. And if you remember that issue, let's go a little bit on it, right? Let's go a little bit on it while you wait for calls. The hospital was to bring specialists and specialty services to Guyana that we were having to send our patients overseas for. It was a huge piece of land there in Liliendal that we were building it. And we had other additional lands after you built the hospital. To do what? Build a nursing school, build another school for training. So that not only would the Indian doctors have retired the specialists after the first 5-6 years, but they would have trained the Guyanese who would have come back by then from Cuba as fully fledged doctors to grow into specialists. It was a vision. But Ramjatan, particularly Ramjatan, took a great interest in destroying that program. And many people seem to think that he took his client's interest into the parliament. One of his clients, and this is public knowledge, who was tendering or who had lost the tender to build the hospital, was angry. And Ramjatan, having to show that he's deserving of his pay from that source, from that company, which had put in a bid and lost, were making a lot of bubble ups in the parliament, to such an extent that because they had a slight majority, they were able to stop the project. Right now, we're still sending people overseas. I've lost count how many people would have died because they did not have that service here, and it takes so long to get them overseas. Not only that, when you go overseas, you don't have the support of your family. When you go overseas and you got treatment and you come back and your primary illness, say cardiac heart, is fixed, who does the follow-up? We don't have the services here. We were hoping to bring them all here. All here. Let's take this call. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, good afternoon to you. Thanks for coming through. Getting it right.
What is this program about?
This program is called Getting It Right. It's a PPP-sponsored program, and we look at the issues of the day. Today we're looking, you've seen it on the screen, we're looking at the priorities, the things that we will do when we win the next elections, which is coming up shortly. Okay? Keep looking on and keep giving us your ideas. So that's, again, is a youngster calling in. This interest in the PPPC has definitely caught the interest of the young people. Probably that person will be ready to vote in a few months' time or a year or so time when the election should have been called. So I'm thanking the young people for coming forward. And of course, the PPPC was very instrumental in doing things for the younger Guyanese. I was just speaking of the health sector. When Jagdeo went to Cuba and he took his team, myself, Ashley Singh, and a few others, I'll remember them shortly, we sat with the highest level of Cuban authority, including Fidel. And we recognized that Guyana would never be able, at the rate we were training our doctors locally, to fill the gap. And therefore, Fidel and Jagdeo agreed right there to create a faculty for training Guyanese. Do you know how many Guyanese have been trained? Almost 1,000 since that period, starting off with the first batch of 500. Of course, that included not only doctors, there were majority medical students, but there were engineers and electricians and computer specialists and so on. But Fidel recognized the dilemma that Jagdeo was facing as a government. Even if you were wanting to invest money and resources, you just did not have the personnel. And our small but hard-working and very quality level medical school was only putting out a handful. That's the fact. So we needed to beef it up. So that is where the PPPC had a vision. We not only were building a specialty hospital, but by the time it was being built, we would have had specialists from India who had loaned us the money on a soft loan, special loan, to build that hospital in Liliendal. We would have been training our youngsters, our young doctors, people probably like this kid in a short while. You were training those young people to have a solid base in general medicine, and then we would have been specializing them. Right at the facility where we were supposed to have not only a hospital, it was a training hospital. And the Indian specialists who are among the best in the world for that type of work would initially have been manning it, running it, just like how initially we built other hospitals around the place. We built other health centers, but our young doctors were what? They were being trained in Cuba. So we increased the number of Cuban specialists who came not to work at Liliendal, not at a specialty hospital, but right across the country. Whereas we used to have a handful of Cuban doctors, when we finished, we were having 250. And some of them, of course, were professors who continued to train the young Guyanese who returned to Guyana from Cuba to continue their training. So it was a master plan. That's why I'm happy so many young people are calling. As a matter of fact, the future of many young people was stymied when the PNC, APNU, AFC, Granger, Nagamutu coalition came to power. They did not understand what we were doing, or they did not like it, so they started to dismantle it. And what they did, they changed the contract under which those young doctors who came up from Cuba were working when we were in office, the PPPC. They changed it to the disadvantage of the young Guyanese. So many young Guyanese now are saying, I packing up and gone. For example, they put them back on the old establishment. We had them on a special contractual arrangement whereby every 6 months they would get 22.5% gratuity. And at the end of their so they can afford to buy a car, pay for mortgage, further their education, do something nice with that money, which was got during their working days. The PNC has thrown that out. Why they throw it out? Because the PPP made it. So the PPP would have been looking nice with these young doctors. They threw that out and reverted these doctors to the old establishment, which means that they will have to be working without any gratuity, any 6 months gratuity, and wait only until they're old and bent and can barely enjoy life to get a pension, a minuscule pension. And of course, the money's worth or the value worth of that pension would actually be very small. So you might not be able to buy a car. You might be able to treat yourself with ice cream and probably a cone or something or a beverage at the end of the month. So that was the difference between the PPPC and the present government. Immediately they start breaking up. The contract that is now in existence, the old time-like contract that doctors got to work through the public system, and then at the end they get a pension. It's very much different from the system that we had devised to keep them. In other words, you train and retain, and that will be sharp in the new manifesto, the new promises that the PPPC will be presenting just before the elections are held. Of course, we're waiting for that date, and that might be another topic you want to look at, a subtopic. The whole caboodle, the whole cacophony of the need or the urgency, constitutional urgency, for this government to resign since the should have resigned since the 21st of December following the loss of the no confidence vote. And the only thing that they should have been doing now, is to start the work to get elections done 90 days following that date. Okay, so those are things that we should be looking at, the difference in how the PPPC does things, and at the same time, how the PNC has actually corrupted our political life after attacking the PPP so many times. Now, there's another issue. Some people who were giving credence or credibility to the PNC, APNU, AFC coalition, people like Dr. Rupnarayan, who came through the Rodneyite WPA, Walkins People Alliance, is so disappointing how he has deteriorated as a political character. Not a person, but as a political character. And that is why in this weekend's mirror, right, which we should try to get, there is, in the second page, there's an article which exposes Dr. Rupert Rupnarayan's deterioration as a political figure. And it says on page 2 of the mirror, is Rupnarayan in breach of the Constitution? And this obviously is a rhetorical question because the answer is yes. And why? Because at a recent outreach in Berbice, Rupnarayan was there, and he went there in his capacity as a minister. Only a few days ago, after the nation was already notified by Granger that his ministers who are now holding overseas citizenship already resigned. So he not only did, this is what it said. On April 10th, 2019, executive of the Working People's Alliance, that is the party to which, a small party to which Rupnarayan is a member, disclosed that Minister Rupert Rupnarayan has submitted his resignation to House Speaker, to the Parliamentary Speaker, Mr. Dr. Barton Scotland. However, Rupnarayan this week, the few days just gone, during the coalition government's public day outreach in Region 6, was not only present for the event, but he was present in his capacity as minister. This raises questions. And they're hoodwinking the government. And they're hoodwinking the people, rather. It's the government hoodwinking the people. They said they resigned. They accept that they got to resign. But here, it means that is Ruth Narayan still enjoying the benefits and the cost of the Guyanese and the facilities. Don't let's say benefit, the facilities, driver, car, accommodation, meals, that he should not be, because he was introduced at this meeting in Region 6 as a minister. And we were told that the resignation should already have been submitted. As a matter of fact, since that situation was discovered, with very few, far fewer members of the PPP parliamentary group, the PPP MPs, member of parliaments, with dual citizenship have already resigned. And they, of course, are the three people who you will see in this newspaper, and you'll get some good news on them. Try to get this weekend's Mirror. And these, of course, are Adrian Anamaya, a lawyer from Borbis, attorney at law; Gail Teixeira, a stalwart of the party and one of the most forceful speakers in Parliament; and Odinga Lumumba. We'll speak on that a wee bit later. So they've tidied up things. Adrian has resigned from the Parliament because he has commitments, family commitments, where he is where he has citizenship in the U.S. also. And you can read it. We'll deal with this another time, but I'm just asking you to try to get the newspaper and look at that article and the statements from the office of the leader of the opposition, which occurs every Thursday. Okay. So as we were saying in the previous edition of the Mirror, March 22nd, APNU coalition government illegal, and that is the main concern that we should be having now. These people who, knowing that they are illegal, you know what they're doing? They're resorting to the courts to frustrate your efforts, to frustrate the efforts of even one of their own members of Parliament who said enough is enough, corruption is enough, and he voted yes, 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 Charandas Prasad. And that allowed us to have a majority at the confidence vote. In other words, a no confidence interpretation of the vote says yes, you gotta go. The government has fallen. Even the senior U.S. government officials, you might be able to see this, the operator might be able to bring this up. This is this weekend. Senior U.S. government officials, functionaries rather, support demands for free and fair elections. In other words, even the Americans know that elections are in the air. And why? Because they understand the constitutionality of the approach that Dr. Bara Jagdeo is pushing along with the entire PPPC. So stay close to the encouragement, to the pronouncements of the PPPC, so that we would have elections sooner rather than later, and at the same time that we will be prepared for those. Now, as I pointed out today, and as the topic says, the issues that the PPPC will do immediately following the election, immediately following what we expect to be an overwhelming victory at the next election, regardless of how they try to postpone it. Instead of having it 90 days after the 21st of December, they keep pushing it on. Well, we'll be fighting that battle at the CCJ. Let's see what they pronounce there. And if we were to win, what is the position? Should we then try to reclaim some of the expenses, some of the payments that we would have made for these non-ministers who should have morally known that they were non-ministers by the 21st of December last year? What do we do? Those are interesting things that we should be looking at. But in the meantime, I want us to look at what the PPPC commits. And you can get this, of course, in your Mirror newspaper for this weekend. And it's not only detailed, but it shows you. And people should know it shows you that over here. It's not very visible. The entire page is a list of the commitments that the PPP is already willing to share, to say, yes, we will do this now, not after the election. We're telling you now. Hello, welcome to Getting It Right. Hello.
Oh, good day.
Good day to you. We're Getting It Right. Ramsarran here.
Okay. To be honest with you, there's so many things that we gotta get right. Right? And pertaining to you going back in the times that you ruled the country from then to now, right? It wasn't right. Still think it's not right. Still, it's not right. So
would you like to give us 3 quick suggestions if you're leaping us into the future? What would be three you can say, let's out of 3 out of major 10. three priorities that you, you sound like a young person, that you would like to see that were not done right and or was done insufficiently? Would you like to be positive and challenge your audience? You're hearing thousands of people are listening to this program.
Okay. And one thing I would like to see as a young person is both parties coming together and making this a success for this country.
Okay.
Because without the two major parties, nothing.
Okay, that's a good point. But okay, that's it. You want to make any other? That's a good point we've got. Do you want to put forward some of the ideals or some of the points you would see if that happens or not? What would you like to see on the manifesto, the promises, the agenda? I will be running through some of those that the PPPC will be giving commitment to in a short while, as soon as this call is over.
Okay. There are so many things that I would like to follow, but now, personally, I think that I'm out of credit, so.
Okay, well, I'm sorry about that. Next time we'll call you back probably if you send the number. Your number should be on my screen, and if you bear it, we'll call you back and I'll take the credits. Okay?
Alright.
Okay, take care. Thanks for calling. Okay, I'm sorry that that young man, that person is not having enough credits, but that's why we'll try to do what we said. The PPPC is not going to spook you, not going to surprise you. It's already here. Can't be seen because of the camera hasn't got it, but it says at the top, PPPC details priorities to be included in manifesto ahead of general and regional elections. In other words, look, this has been going on for several weeks now. We've been planning right across the country. Teams are meeting at a serious approach. What we're planning to do. Let me tell you about some of them. I hope the operator might be able to pull up some. This is what it says. The People's Progressive Party Civic, PPP/C, in consultation with a wide range of stakeholders, is working on a detailed manifesto which will elaborate on the party's policies for improving the lives of all Guyanese. In other words, what we're going to do to fix Guyana after the PNC APNU AFC coalition broke it up in 3 years. Some of the priorities actions of our government immediately following elections will be: 1, listen well, and that gentleman that just called, who didn't have enough credits, can probably follow these and see if he agrees and tick off if he agrees. And a good way to do it is simply to get a mirror and tick it off, right? Or he can probably see how he can add more things that we might have left out. 1, restore the 10,000 cash grant to school children. The APNU AFC Granger coalition with Nagamutu and Ramjatan took away 1.67 billion Guyana dollars per year. That is, over the period that they've been in office so far, a total of 8.35 billion Guyanese dollars from Guyanese children. The PPPC had been finding ways as we got the economy going better and better and better, and as we got rid of the foreign debt and so on, and as we did better and collected better revenues, we had been able to say, Guyanese children, we're going to give each one a $10,000 cash grant. Some people might got 5 children in school, they got $50,000. And that was a little toops. It was a little bit. They took it away, and then they put some, in place of it, they said they got Granger buses. Right? They send a couple half broken-down buses to certain particular areas, and the buses sometimes park up. So here it is. Listen to the figure. That's why you got to get a mirror. This is not small figure. You say, $10,000 per child. But over the period of this government since the last elections, they have taken away 1.67, or let's round it off, $1.7 billion every year of those years. And over the total period, 8.35, or let's say 8.4 billion Guyanese dollars, which would have been in the pockets of many poor people, right? So that's one thing. We will immediately restore that. So if you're thinking of why you should vote for PPP or why you shouldn't vote for AFC, well, AFC done. AFC done from now on, right? I hear Uncle Mose migrating, right? He's going to have a nice time over there on his big fancy pension and so on that he's always costing us down for having. So, second point, reinstate the water subsidies to pensioners. So you see it, the extremes. The small kids we're taking care of, they're in school. They need support. They need a brain that is not educated, a mind that is not educated is lost forever, and that's a sin. The PPPC will see that these kids can have a proper schooling and probably go into the medical school, go into the other scholarships that we will be reintroducing. So number 2, reinstate the water subsidies. And I think my operator is doing a great job. He's bringing it up. It's badly printed in a little bit here. It's faded in the newspapers, but he's doing a great job. So let's thank him. Number 2, reinstate the water subsidies to pensioners. In other words, we're taking care of little children, giving them their money to go to school, the $10,000. And at the same time, we're going at the other end, we're taking care of the pensioners. The APNU AFC removed $500 million in subsidies every year, amounting to $2.5 billion. And that burden has had to be paid by our elderly people who are getting a certain concession. You work for the country, you sometimes work without proper salary, proper pension and so on. But those people who are now being deemed pensioners by the PPPC and had their pension rectified and are regarded as pensioners, they were getting a subsidy on water. That gone. It didn't go today or yesterday under the PNC APNU AFC coalition. It went immediately after they took power. They said, scrap. If Jagdi on the PPP and Ramutar on the PPP give you this, we taking it away, we bad. And you know why? Because they need money. They need money to increase their own salaries. So while they were taking away 8.35 billion from Guyanese children, plus 3.5 billion from pensioners for the water subsidy. They increased their salaries immediately within 3 weeks after the elections, and secretly they increased their brooms, for example, right away. The minister's salary that the minister before, the PPP minister, was getting, it gone up. When grooms come over, it gone up, and they're renting houses now enough tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars for such people. So these people, not only are they incompetent, not only the ministers I'm speaking about, not only are they now getting a bigger salary. You know what they used to say? Fat cats. PPP got fat cats getting big salary. Well, if you are getting big salary as a PPP minister, when the PNC minister come in, you should have reduced the salary. Isn't that logical? You should have reduced the salary so you're not a fat cat. But they increase it so that they're a fat pussy cat now. And besides that, after increasing their own remuneration and benefits by sometimes 50 and 100%, they take away the money from the kids. They take away the water subsidy from the old people. They take away the school allowance from the kids. Why? Because money is finite. The amount of money you got in the government coffers is just so much. So if you want to increase your own salary and suck the blood of the Guyanese people, you got to reduce something else. Now what they chose to reduce, 10,000 cash grant to school children, was quaxed out the window, out the place, gone. Well, we are committing as number one in this manifesto, in this little run-up, and some details are given in the Mirror on page, I think it's page 12 of this weekend's Mirror. We're going to restore the $10,000 for each child, and we will restore the water subsidy to pensioners. Two big groups of people who need some support. And we're going to take away the money. I wonder if we can take back the money from them government ministers, whether they secretly give it themselves. You know, they were secretly increasing it until the PPPC discovered it and raised it, and until Starbuck News about the same time discovered it. Let's see if you have a positive call here. Hello, welcome to Getting It Right.
Yeah, Dr. You know, you talk about only about the subsidies and things, but Guyana have a different problem. All the loan from these China banks and things, there is no place where debt write off anymore. There is things that you have to build on roads will come and seize whatever you can.
Okay, I think you are carrying out a little bit of anti-China propaganda, which unfortunately I think you don't fully understand. That's a big campaign being carried out by certain Western countries and saying China come for thief. No, but I know what you're talking about, the Belt and Road, right?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on how you want to borrow the money as a country. Some countries...
They already borrowed the money.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It depends on how you want to borrow it. In some countries, they borrow it and squander it. But under our plan, it can even be reviewed, right? So that's that we're going to discuss that. You want a second point now? Bring it up quickly.
Under Dr. Javan, he had debt right off around
Yes, that was good.
Now we don't have any.
Yeah, well, the point is the debt write-off that Jagan had was never being used before. No, but listen, let me develop your point. Jagan didn't invent that debt relief. He had a different approach. The previous government, led by Height and Company and so on, could not get that done. So we will have to review. For example, people are saying that the oil contract, the oil agreement is written in stone. Right now we've discovered it's not. It can be renegotiated. You understand? So be careful how you're being fooled, especially with certain anti-China countries.
You look at what China Road has do to the airport.
To which?
China company that do the airport.
Mm-hmm.
Under the previous administration.
No. That was scrapped and opposed by this government, and they renegotiated it. And we were supposed to get 8 or 9 new ports, new doors, new. Now you got for the same. No, you got for the same value now, or more, less. So your new government renegotiated to the distress of the nation. So why don't you do this? I can invite you on this program and let's work it out. Even before, let's work it out.
So if you look at the deplorable state of it,
Deplorable state of what?
Was walking through and
No, deplorable state of what? Of the new airport? Well, this government is overseeing that with the Chinese, if they want to take that. Look at the roads that are being built now. Those were negotiated.
That's why I tell you.
Those were negotiated. Those are good roads.
These roads will be very, very hard down.
Well, you got to bring a little more data, because the public outside here listening to you would very not much like that. For example, the roads and west and over the river, going towards Perica. Those were things that were already contracted, and they're standing up well. The roads on this side of the river on the East Coast, them are standing up well, right? You got to have your engineers there co-supervising the Chinese. So I'm advising that you got to be careful. There's a movement in Western countries to use this against China, because China is displacing them all around the place. If any country allows the Chinese not to put in proper contractual clauses, that's our fault. Okay? What's the second point?
The second point is that we are hoping to get another election, but the supporters around, let me look at people, they have who is based on stars, regardless who you vote for, they come in and up to now we ain't seen around our area, nobody coming around, all they do is party and raising their hand. You understand? Showing the PR on the ground.
No, the PR on the ground for the PPP?
Yeah?
For the PPPC?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know what area you are in, but I can tell you I'm in the top. Let me answer you. I'm in the top 50. No, Horstellan, don't tell me about that. I've been there up to recently. In other words, the Mirror newspaper, we sold 100, and immediately after that, the company there that's working, the little party group, wanted 150. So as a matter of fact, I just dropped off in Horstellan another 150. So that's totally. You don't know anything about Horstellan. You cocking the walk. I've been there. Me and the evolving. There's a women's group that has about 60 people. About 10 of them came out. So that's. I want you people in Horstellan think on it. Right down by the Chinese shop. There we call the Chinese shop. When you drive in or something, going down there, straight down there. I've been there. For the past 3 weekends, we've been doing that. And on my way here from this program, I dropped up some. So that's not so. That's irrelevant. Further, every Saturday I lead a team at the market at Monrepo. We used to sell 150. We're now selling 200 mirror. Within what? Within 44 to 45 minutes. So I'm willing to come. You can come along with us. Don't sell. Come and see. Learn how to do the PR work, right? But I'm happy, and I want to thank the comrades, especially the lady comrades in Horstellan. Thank you for a very good job done. Unfortunately, there was a funeral in the area recently, and out of respect, we had to tone down our activities. Okay? And as a matter of fact, on this weekend, they're holding a fundraiser. I think it's tomorrow. See and be there. Horstellan, if you have it, send a ticket over, and I'll put it up. Horstellan group, the women's group, along with support from the youth group, are having an activity. So you're totally out of whack with that. You know nothing about Horstellan. Okay. Another point. This third point. Okay, we seem to have lost him. So here it is. This is so good. I just came before this program. 5 minutes before we started, I arrived here, and I came from Horstellan. Horstellan has big things going on for the PPC. We started about 3-4 weeks ago selling a small number of mirror. 20 people came out to help us, all dressed in the red shirts, right? All dressed in the red shirts. And they wanted immediately, they said more. Well, of course, you got to say, hold it, you're going to burn out. So we've kept it down to 150 mirror being sold in Horstellan. And what will happen? Shortly, the same team will be going to the Grove commercial area, you know those streets on Grove, and they will be spending some time there. So this man is totally out of whack. Don't be fooled by these creatures. Okay? And of course, the PPPC did not incur more excessive debts. Let me give you the story. When the PPPC took over, we had a debt to such an extent that out of every dollar, out of every 100 cents, the Jagan government had to pay back the people overseas, the loaners, 94 cents. 94 cents. So when we ended our stewardship of the government in 2015, or even a little bit before, it was down to 3 cents. We were only having to export 3 cents of our earnings out of every $100 overseas. Because what? Not only debt write-off, but frugal management of the economy. Not so many wastes and so on. So that's another point we should be looking at. Hello?
Hello.
Good day to you, my dear. Thanks for coming through. Ramsarran here.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. Do you have a question? Our time is ticking.
Yes. What I would like to say, I'm a customer of GWI. And I have put in my pension, old age pension, for the subsidy that they was giving when they raised this new water prices. Now from January on to now, they have not deduct any subsidy from my account. I keep calling them and they keep saying, we investigating. This is for
Which subsidy you're talking about?
my GWI bill.
You're talking about the water subsidy given to old people by the PPPC government. Because that subsidy...
This new GWI that they said would have discount something.
Yeah, well, we used to give a grant of 10,000 to old people.
Yeah, but I wasn't a pensioner then.
Oh, you weren't old enough.
No, but this new minister that raised the water lately, that said so when you go for pensioner would have to pay the rates, but they did not, and then we had to carry in our book when they was publishing that. I did so answer now 4 months. They have not deducted anything.
But tell me something. Other people who are already pensioners, do you know what's happening to them? The people who used to already get that little subsidy, do you know why anything was happening to them? Are they getting it?
No.
No, you're certain, right? But we got to look at that because these are ways they need to take money out of the general population to be able to pay themselves.
Right.
You know, so that's why their salary went up. You know, the minister's salary went up,
Yes.
right? And immediately, not waiting, immediately the next week after it went up. And you know that they did not tell the public.
Yes.
It's-
And you know that the certain TV station would say, oh, we don't have the money, you know, we don't have the money to do that. But how they get money to pay themselves fat cat salaries?
Fat cat salaries, big fat pussy cats, and useless, some of them ain't got brains.
Right.
Now, but tell me something, how come the PPP was finding it for many years, and
Right.
suddenly only one change the government, and they stopped finding it?
Yes.
How come they were calling us fat cats when we were getting, I as a doctor used to be, when I became minister, I used to be earning 1/3 of my salary, and they're
Right.
calling us fat cats. How come now, what were these fat pussy cats you got there?
They get fat.
Yeah, what about what the noisy woman named Brooms, always making
Yes.
noise, right? She
Yes.
being paid to make
And
noise.
the Minister of Health,
Yeah, oh yes.
I had to quit my clinic must be over 6 months now. I'm a asthmatic. Okay?
Here, don't tell us
You
too much.
go there, you don't.
You tell me about that afterward. I don't want anybody to be able to identify you and persecute you, right? So you had to quit your clinic because of what? They don't have medication or you can't afford to go.
They don't get the medication. I have now to take my pension and buy it outside.
Well, I'm going to wait specially after this program, and if you call me back, I will call you. If you leave your number, I'll call you back, and you won't have to pay credits. Because that's another thing. Listen to me well. Not only were we giving a certain water subsidy to the old people, but we were creating other conditions, like more when they go to the health center, they don't have to buy insulin. They don't have to buy tablets. Now, besides taking away the money and giving it to themselves, they're now taking away the medications.
Yes.
Because it's natural. If you want to give yourself a fat cat salary, a fat pussy cat salary, it means you got to take the money from somewhere. You're taking it away from the pensioners and from the kids who can't fight up. Guyanese kids don't go on the street.
Another thing, they talk about crime invented by the PPP. Well, I could tell you I'm a senior citizen. I'm a 67-year-old senior citizen. Crime, kick down door, choke around, because I was choked around many times in Bornholm side. So I don't know what to say. The net started from PNC.
Yeah, okay, well, and then again, we had a youth ministry that we are hoping to do many things, right? And Frank Anthony probably sometime can come and tell us of the good things we were doing. Okay?
Yes, okay.
Okay, thank you. Keep looking. And I'll be expecting a call after the program. Bye-bye. Hello, welcome to Getting It Right. You're about the last call now. We are almost out of time. Go ahead.
I just want to make one point. I'm living in Bell West, that's the phase 2.
Bell West?
Living here, yes, Bell West on the West Bank. This canal number 2, what they call the Bell West, phase 1, phase 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm living in
I think I know it because we opened a new health center.
Yes, I know you guys were in the phase 1 earlier.
Yeah, but we were supposed to be getting another health center funded by the Mexicans. How far has that gone?
Okay, what is my concern? I've been living in Dallas for the past 3.5 years, and since then I've heard that, we're gonna get road, or they're gonna grade our road. We got not potholes, I don't know what to call them, and our roads are loom. We don't have brick road or so. So right now, I heard that I'm seeing when I went out this week, I'm seeing some roads are great and some are not. And when I found out from the driver why, there's only some, they say you got to give some raise. So I'm wondering what's going on if,
You got to do what? You got to give a raise to the machine operator.
Get some raise to give somebody, and it doesn't seem that, like people are living at the back. At the back on the clear brick one side, and on the last street, and the right through in the lane street, nobody road has been done. So aren't we people living here, or only the special people roads doing?
Okay, could you let's have this discussion a little bit for next minute or two? Hold on. What I want to point out is that when I was Minister of Health, we opened a health complex there, didn't we? Health center is a health center in part of the area there.
Yes, that's on the phase 1.
Right, phase 1, and then because it's so massive, it's a massive success for the PPP to start that. We didn't get to do all we wanted to do, like fix the roads, but health is also important, and we were getting another health center somewhere around there. I don't know if it's in phase 2, funded by the Mexican government. When the Mexican ambassador approached me first, he said we had 300,000 US, and then when he saw how good we were doing, he went back and negotiated with his government, and it came up to 1.2 million. That's US money I'm talking about, right?
Okay.
Right. So you can probably check again if there's a second health center somewhere around, because I know they sent down a team of young people to help us investigate the correct siting, right?
Okay.
But I know the place is dark sometimes. One of the major complaints I was having a few years ago is that people are fearful after dark. I don't know if that.
We still have that. They did a part showing that, it's really nice. They got his white ticket and so on at the side. But then they finish it off direct at the first street of phase 2.
Yeah. Okay, well, we hope, if you check, you saw what I was doing during the first part of the program. We have a list of things here that we will prioritize. Do you get a mirror in your area, the Mirror newspaper, Weekend Mirror?
I don't think I'm seeing anybody
Okay.
in my area.
Okay, well, sometimes it's sold in different areas, but this is the exact detail of what we will do right away. And if you don't get it, access it, we will continue covering this in the following minutes of this program and in future programs. What we will prioritize, health sector, for example, all of those health facilities we made, they were adequately staffed, not only by nurses, but by doctors, okay? By doctors at practically every health center. Go to Campbell Health Center now. At one stage, you had one doctor for years, and the health center used to get closer by 2:30. Now you have at one stage, when I visited there recently, 6 doctors, never heard of. 6 doctors, and they can work now until 9, 10 in the night. 6 doctors. Right, so that is a plan, a vision, and we intend. So I want to thank that lady for calling in from, is it Bell West, no? Bell West. Right over there, big developments where we were going on. not Belvest, a nearby location. So we were doing things to put in phase 1. We already had a health center, a massive structure, clean, nice, new, staffed with doctors, and we had already been negotiating with with the embassy of a certain very sympathetic and progressive country, which saw what we were doing, liked it so much, the ambassador liked it so much that he came to visit me and say how we could. Then when we checked it out, the amount of funding that he had was small, so he went back and got more. They got a team of engineers from that particular country to come and see how we were going to put up a health center in the area which it was much needed in a new, evolving, exploding PPP housing area. PPP-inspired housing area. Hello, good day to you. Hello, we seem to have missed that. So coming back to that lady, if if she's still on with us, looking at her screen, the Mirror newspaper. This is it. This is a sneak preview to our manifesto, a few of the main points. Of course, we won't be giving away all our points now, and we won't be giving away the details, but it's there in this newspaper, Mirror newspaper. This weekend Mirror newspaper. The operator will probably bring up the full page to you, and it says senior U.S. government functionaries support demand for free and fair elections. Okay? Hello?
Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Ramsarran.
Good afternoon. Go right ahead.
I'm living at Zillot here. I'm a senior citizen. But since the PPP government came out, our trench has not been dug, and our roads have been made. My husband has taken like 3 truckload of brick to make up the road, but nobody is coming in here. The trench is full of grass and mosquitoes and all kind of things. We don't get nobody coming in here.
That's where again exactly? It slipped me.
This is Zillot North.
Zillot North.
Yes. And if you drive on the road, you will see up to the Kendra, and they clean all the road, all the trench and everything, and if you go to Bargenou, then they clean it. But our district is between Bargenou and the Kendra, and it's not clean at all. Anybody would come and see.
Okay, well, at the end of the program, if you can call back, I will get your number, and I will at my cost, I will maintain a contact with you, right?
Okay.
Right? Why do you think they're skipping your area?
I don't know why, because we are PPP. Everybody here voted for the PPP, and they believe that this is a PPP area, so they're not doing anything for us.
Okay, well, we got to change that sooner rather than later. Do you get a mirror? The mirror reflects our views.
No, I didn't get it.
Okay, we'll try to see that. Anyhow, thanks for coming through, and call me back. I'll be here 2 hours after the program ends, and we'll have a discussion. And to save you credits, you would give me your number when you call, and I'll call back that number, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye. Sorry, I missed someone on the cell phone while that was going on. I missed 2-3 calls on the cell phone while that one was going on. Well, my good friends, we're coming down almost to the end of the program. It's another few minutes. Hello. Getting it right. Welcome. Good day to you. Thanks for calling.
Yes, man. We got a problem in the fire. Nobody looking after this TV supplier, and then they take it tax to the government. When they don't know, you go and check around, you find out for them that shouldn't take tax, somebody telling you.
What they're not taking care of?
They're taking care of nothing in supplier. In the trench left now, the majoring and come a meeting, and the water will come running in the yard. They got to the trenches, nothing digging.
Well, okay.
And the roads, they got it left just like that. Nobody coming and tar it or nothing. The lights are there, they got the vehicles. People on the road next to you know when you're coming in night. You will get robbed.
What about the health center in, I think, is B-Field?
Well, it's there B-Field, but I don't already go there, but they maybe it's still in progress. But the other things that I'm talking about, that is what I'm looking at. Then we go to the county, might start seeing sky here, but seeing away, don't know that they owe you, and when you get back your money, the problem now.
But do you know something?
They said that you shouldn't take no money because
well, here, do you know that Sophia has a representative in the city council? Well, I'm going to tell you, the PPP has 2 councillors. One is from your area, right? That's Uncle Muslim.
Okay.
Right.
That's all.
So I will try to get. If you call me back, I'll get your number after the show, and I will call you and I'll put you on to him. But
Because it's not fair.
Dion Young is his
No man
name.
pick up your rubbish, you got bought it in the yard and smoke up the place.
Yeah, but
And
listen,
fix it.
I wasn't there. I wasn't there for several weeks every day. Sophia, the party, gave me to walk around. Yes, I went around there and we saw some problems with the dams where the school children got to go to school on. However, I want to tell you and I want to tell the people who are looking at this program, there's a Dion Young, also known as Uncle Muslim. He is our man in the area and he, of course, is a city councillor, one of the 2 city councillors.
So why they coming and looking at?
No, well, that's our PPP rep. He's one in the whole council. I will raise these issues with him. And if you, don't give me the number now.
No.
When you call back, I'll take your details and see if Dion can come check you. I was in there regularly, but for Sophia, it's a huge place, you know. And
Yes, I know, but
I took a
they're
team.
talking about that.
I took a team of about 10 people, and we spent many days, and we were not even able to cover it
They
totally.
even look at field to field, but they're doing nothing to try with the field, and the field, and the field left in all the time.
Well, we're gonna work on that. We're gonna work on that. And what I want to point out is that you should start using the services of the health center.
Okay.
There are 2 health centers there. There's one when you come down
They
industry.
don't believe in them, and
No man, no. I especially find that Mekiden it expanded already, but they might not be doing it properly. But go there and try to get some help. Why we put it there is to take pressure off the Georgian Hospital.
then you got CPL, so they're not another problem because they're not looking at it. You go there, the Arvin said, because here the people are people you pay for them to cover. You look at your bill, you know they are born in the amount of the put here wrong, and they go for query. Telling me different thing, you got to bring the meter thing on the phone at the time I did it. They tell you, oh no, you have to the right money, and then lying, and you know that they're
Okay.
They need to take off the money.
Well, wait. If you call me back, I don't get your number right on this phone.
Okay.
So if you call me back, I'm gonna immediately knock it off and call you. See
Yeah,
if
they
you
won't
can-
send the people to check the meters no more, what they used to do.
Okay, I will get in touch with you if you do what
You bring your numbers on this and that way, you bring it to the tell you but it's the right money and then tell you foolishness. And you know it's not true.
But here now, could you call me back at the end of the program, and
Alright.
I will try to link this guy with you, your representative. Okay.
All right then.
So the PPP won 2 seats, and we Dion represents us. For the happy coincidence comes from the area we're speaking about, Sophia. As a matter of fact, I was given some special responsibility for Sophia in the recent weeks, running up to the elections, the local government elections, and I spent many days, morning 2 hours, afternoon 3-4 hours, and we had not one custom, not one single, regardless of their background, their religion, their ethnicity, not one single citizen or resident in Sophia cussed us down. They were embarrassed. There were being lots of problems, and we can't promise to do everything, but we're trying to enumerate some of those, right? Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for coming through.
Yeah. I calling from Metamayor's office.
Go ahead. Could you lower your television volume?
Yeah, I get in a little problem with GP early on. Turn on the volume. You go up there. Right. Turn on.
All right, go ahead. You talk while she turn it down.
Yes. These people had a meter on my house. And the meter, they put a 110 meter on a 240 current. And since last year, August, they're doubling. If my meter reads, the reading reads 120, then put in 240. And they're sending me some tremendous bill I can't afford to pay it, but yeah, he's a big man, I actually get him pension. They charging me, they said one need for me for 19,000. Me only got a fan, a TV, and a fridge.
Well, have you gone into query it?
Yeah, when I go in there, nobody paid attention to me. I asked many times to reach the manager, and I can't get through with nobody.
Arthur, could I make a suggestion? We have a parliamentary representative over there and an office. And for the happy coincidence, that parliamentary rep, that parliamentarian, is also a presidential candidate. But you have many other people, right? So I'm advising that if you call me back, I don't have your number coming up here. If you call me back, we get your number and we put you on. But Mr. Irfan Ali has a party office over there.
Yeah.
And he is a rep. He's running for us as presidential candidate, and he has a strong structure there. So I would advise you drop by the office. It's just around the corner there in Leonora. You might know it. Do you know where the office is, Party?
Yes.
If you drop by there, but write down a few things first, so that you're able to come crisp to the point. And you can call me back too, so we will have a chat, and I will see how I can link in with you. Okay? But he's
Okay,
right
thank
there,
you very
and he's
much.
at the office fairly regularly.
Yeah, buddy, and I is a PPP member, buddy.
But whether you are or not, right, you deserve services as a Guyanese, right?
Yeah,
Okay, thanks for coming through.
okay.
Okay, so you see the real nitty-gritty problems that affects people's quality of life, right? So I want to remind people over in the Region 3, our presidential candidate comes from Region 3, born and bred there, and of course there's a huge office, and not a huge office, but a well-represented office, but just at the turn there and by the market, right? Hello? Hello, good day to you. You're the last call. Could you be?
Yeah. I got problem. The other day, I could call you back. Call me back now.
No, I won't call you back now. I'll call you back after the program. But I don't have a number for you.
Right, call me back.
I don't have a number. Our telephone we don't take the numbers.
Well,
So call me back immediately after, and you get me, right? Okay. Hello, welcome to you. Getting it right. Hello.
Hello?
Good afternoon. You're on to Getting It Right.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm calling from Boston East Bank. We are actually in the new scheme that the PPP actually shared did some allocation out. Let's say the road is in a very, very bad state. We have made several complaints or called the ministry. That's the partisan ministry. And it seems to be no heat up. But sometimes we have problems with water. We run for 2 weeks, we're not getting water. Whenever we get water, it's the pressure is very low. So I'm not certain how you can assist, or if you could maybe have a rep in there that we could check with.
All right. Well, we have some activities going on in the Horstellan area currently. As a matter of fact, tomorrow they might get some public activity, but that's more of a fun nature, right? I've been in the area for several times. You know, we've been doing house to house. Okay. So what you can do, you calling me on my cell phone. Therefore, I got your number, right? I won't repeat it, but I will probably call you back on this number and see what we can do. You agree with that? Because the cell, we don't have the marks on the landline, right? But the numbers, right? So I'll call you back, right? Sometime and we have a chat, right? And if I'll be in the area at the fun thing tomorrow in Horstellan, you can probably seek it out and we have a chat too, right?
No problem.
Okay, take care. Thanks for calling. Okay, well, I see my operator frantically waving. I don't know if it's to say yes, go on, or end. Could we end? It means this is such a good program that I think he even was giving me some extra time. Thanks for that. Incoming call. Could we take this last call? No, it's already 2 minutes past the time, and you have paid programs. So I'd like the call that we've missed there, and 10 on the cell phone. I'd like to apologize to you. I'll be here for the next hour and a half, and I can take your calls. And if you have cell phone even afterwards, call me any time of the day or night and share your issues. I've gotten a list of issues, but I think you too have to help yourself. For example, in Region 3, the PPP is a party office. You can address yourself there. I would advise that before going, list down, do a little quick jotting in however you can do it, so that you can guide yourself and leave it there, right? Okay? And of course, my number is on the screen, 623-8696. You'll be getting it right if you call me at any time. You feel free to do that. Okay? Bye-bye. See you next week.